My name is Kurt Heinecke. I am the, what am I? My name is Kurt Heinecke. I am the music director for Wingfeather Saga. I also write score and help a little bit with the songs. I work with the other guys, Ben Shive and Arcadian Wild.
I'm Isaac Horn, and I play in a folk band called the Arcadian Wild. We operate in as a band in a songwriting capacity.
When they brought me in, it was to, I would say, to help people like Arcadian Wild who have written some incredible songs, but they're not used to fitting them into a picture.
Because with songwriting, you're telling the whole story with the music. With picture, the music is a completely more like a supportive role.
This would be Isaac himself telling me, man, I feel like I need to write this song and fill in every crack and crevice. And I would come in and say, hey, what if we simplify this? What if we use, these 5 notes make a great theme? What if we just stretch that out? And then once he saw, that's how that fits in with the picture, and it makes it more cinematic, we started hearing these little themes and those sorts of things.
Once we kind of got into that mindset and started sending things that were working, then he would take that and he'd make it sound like a movie. We went from this kind of small, quiet, acoustic band, barely breaks 5 decibels, to this sort of epic, huge sound.
But then the nice thing with this is not everything's big and epic. We can really bring it down, very intimate inside the cottage, and hear just these individual instruments telling a story.
It's intimate, small, and personal at the same time that it's big and epic and sweeping.
There can be a kind of magic in music.
I don't think there's any magic in my music. What's your secret?
The goal was always for it to feel and sound like Nashville.
Isaac, what we need is something that sounds kind of Scandinavian, but kind of Irish, but also a little bit cinematic, but also kind of like Nashville. And because we wanted it to kind of sound like where we're from.
We were using words like Americana, Appalachian, country, bluegrass, but then we started blending it with early European, Scandinavian.
I think if you would have told me that's what we were going for, I would have laughed and said, there's no way, those things don't go together.
And it was amazing to me that he came back with a song that's in episode 1 called Jürgen's Tune, and it was like, it's kind of Scandinavian and kind of Irish and kind of like Nashville, and it's kind of cinematic.
That's enough.
And for us, music is such an important fabric. And I can tell you to a person that's just simply not happening in other spaces.
The fact that the soundtrack could stand alone as its own work of art is something to shoot for.
Ultimately, what we're creating is this sound that's familiar, but not quite.
Finding a middle ground was really fun, and I think it led us to something really, really cool. At the beginning, we were given a list of emotions and as well as characters and places, and that's all we were given. Go have ideas.
So we started writing without even seeing any video or film yet.
It was cool it was difficult.
We wanted to create a library of music that we can come back to and use not just in episode 1, but throughout season 1.
That was an interesting process and totally new to me, but I like where things landed.
So in the series, we have this very unique instrument that's never been heard or seen before, the whistle harp.
Lily girl, how about something with a little more giddy up?
Like a pirate shanty? Maybe the one about Squidbelly the Wide?
Aye, that's perfect.
So since there's no instrument that plays both of them together, and it would be really hard to do that because you just don't have enough fingers to do that. You could maybe get 3 notes out of each. Actually, I should try that. I can literally play 3 notes together, so whistle harp theme would be a little boring. Well, we're going to have to combine a whistle and a harp.
It's working!
I'm most excited about the theme we got for the fangs. And I think Ben Shive actually had the idea of taking a slide, like a finger slide, and getting this really old, beat up guitar and have this metal finger slide and just play the melody, but just make it nasty and gritty. It would sound bad in any other context, but worked really, really well for this. But this is disorienting, this is off. And I think that's why it works so well for the fangs.
You know, we're dealing with different worlds and different environments. We've had some directions that we've talked about, and maybe there's a little bit of inspiration from those, but then we also say, no, but let's create our own sound.
How many instruments, if you had to guess, do you think you have in this room?
I mean, I've got tens of thousands of dollars of equipment in here, and I'd have to add it all up. Over 100 Irish whistles and ethnic flutes hanging on a wall over there. I've got about 25 brass instruments hanging on the ceiling, and I've got stringed instruments and plucked instruments like ukuleles back here. And I've got all these shelves of percussion instruments. So I love just having all this creativity right here in front of me. And I know some people, it gives them the jitters because they're like, I could never work in someplace that cluttered. It needs to be cleaner than that, but I kind of thrive on this.